Now, sometimes you need to leave in a hurry, but believe it or not, someone left this wonderful machine behind while moving out of a rental home, but why would they do that? This is not some big box store cheapo depot machine. It's much better than that, and yet they still left it behind. In fact, I know several people who trade something valuable for a machine just like this one. So I guess we better look at this machine and find out why they left it and see if it's worth keeping. In today's video, we're going to be looking at this older Echo straight shaft string trimmer. And the problem is that it was left behind by a tenant who apparently left quite a bit of stuff behind after leaving in a hurry. Now, just to let you know, this was not my tenant, and instead it was a friend's place that was vacated, but they wanted me to check it out and see if they could sell it to cover some of the rent money they were owed. I also didn't pry for any more details because I really didn't want to get involved. However, this machine is very interesting, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. Now, before we get too far into the project, we better record any information from the stickers just in case we need to order parts for it. And by the looks of all the missing parts, such as the air filter, the cover for it, the purge bulb, and some nuts and bolts, we're going to need it. But of course, we first need to find out if the engine will even start and run, so we'll prime the engine through the carb and try starting it. So the good news is that it started and ran, and it even sounded pretty good too, but the bad news is that this carb is kind of in pieces, but I would like to try and get it started. Now the part I put back into the carb is the barrel assembly, and it's what lets air and fuel enter the engine. I don't know why it was taken apart, but I'm sure they had their reasons. Next, we're going to put some mixed fuel into the tank and then try purging the air from the system. Using ethanol-free gasoline in your mix is best, but if you can't get any, try using a good stabilizer to help out. Now, even though the purge bulb is missing along with the plate, we can still try holding it in place while using it. However, after giving it several good presses, there's no fuel filling the bulb, which means our chances of starting the engine is pretty low. Now, to make up for the non-existent bulb, you can do what we did and prime it manually with fuel. But unfortunately, we got the same result as before, which was a few seconds of running and then it's stopping. That means the carb and the fuel system is most likely the problem, so we'll be working on it right after we give it a quick shower. I know some are going to ask about the chances of getting water into the carb and engine, but if you can't tell, the choke flap is closed, so the chances are very low. But if you are worried about it, you can always cover that area to avoid water from getting somewhere where it shouldn't be. You of course don't need to clean your machines to work on them, but it does look a lot better on camera though. Just remember to let them dry off as fast as possible after your last rinse. So what's the plan for this trimmer then? Well, as a backup, we have a used carb from a different project that didn't turn out so well. And originally, I was planning on taking the parts we'll need from it. However, I was considering just trying it out and seeing what happens. However, we still need the air filter cover as well, so instead of spending $10 and waiting, I think we'll just use this one from this parts machine. Now, it's very unfortunate that this one does not have the carb we need, but because it has a different one, the filter orientation is going to look funny. And that's because the parts machine's air box is going to be mounted at an angle while our machine is not. Don't worry, you're going to see what I mean later on. And it's also unfortunate that we can't just use the cover, and that's because one uses a bolt while the other one uses a wing nut. However, we could just swap over this metal plate, but I didn't think about that until now. So the chances of you having a parts machine to take parts off of is quite rare, and in this case, I just buy a new replacement part, not to mention a new air filter. The same thing goes for the carb as well. If your carb looks bad, just do the easy thing and buy a new one for a couple of bucks. But just make sure to ask the seller if what they're selling is what your machine needs, otherwise you're going to get the wrong part. Now that we've got the carb off the engine, this would also be a great time to inspect the fuel line, not to mention the grommet. I'm also checking to see if the fuel filter has come off the fuel line, because if it did, it could mean the carb might be clogged up with debris. This is when we notice a very serious problem, and that is a loose fuel tank grommet, which could lead to a nasty fuel leak. And because I like my skin and don't want any permanent damage to it, I think we should do something about it. Now, looking at the grommet, I don't see any damage to it, so why is it leaking? Simple, the use of the wrong fuel has caused it to shrink and harden. We'll look for a spare grommet here in a bit, but for right now, we'll look at the old carb and see just how bad it is. So this part here is a metal roller, and it's vital to how the barrel works, so do not lose it. Just ask me how I know. I've lost this part before, and it's caused the carb not to work like it should. And after taking off this metal plate, we finally get to see something very important, and that is the metering diaphragm, and its job is to control the fuel flow through the carb. Now it should be very flexible, but over time they wear out and can sometimes harden, causing some starting problems. And as you can tell, this one is quite hard and is not able to do its job, so we'll need to replace it with a brand new one. You can try and save these if you're in a pinch by soaking it, but it's not always a guaranteed fix. Now there is one more diaphragm in this carb, and it's the pumping diaphragm, which is to help pull fuel from the tank. Now its design is quite different from the last one, but it's just as important, which means we need to inspect it. The pumping diaphragm is under this plastic part, and after the last bolt's been removed, we finally get to see it. Luckily, this one is made out of a material that rarely fails, so we're just going to look for any damage to it. But the good part is that there's nothing wrong with it, so we might just be able to reuse it. But because we intend on giving this carb a really good cleaning, we better take off what we can, just try not to make a mess. I know the carb looks nice and clean, however we need to take out these smaller pieces from the middle for a better cleaning. And once these parts are free from the carb, just make sure not to lose them because it's really easy to do. And if you wanted to continue spraying down the carb, this would be a great time to do it. While we're here, just make sure the round inlet screen is allowing fuel to pass through it, and if it doesn't, keep cleaning it until it does. You can try to take the screen out for a better cleaning, but you really don't have to. Now I know we sprayed this carb down pretty well with cleaner, however, I wanted to use my ultrasonic cleaner instead, but this is when things go wrong. If you couldn't tell, we just got dish soap in the basin for the cleaner, and to be honest, it does a pretty good job of cleaning stuff. The water is also near boiling as well, and the combination with the ultrasonic does a great job cleaning most everything that we put into it. Unfortunately, while handling the carb, the tiny metal roller was no longer being held in place by oil, and it finally decided to leave us. That means our plan B of using the other carb as a replacement is now our plan A, so I hope this works. So here's the fuel tank grommet we took out, and to be honest, I think it's sealing a lot better than it looks. And instead, I think it's the discolored return line that's leaking, so to test it, we'll just remove that line and install a new one. Now if the leak is still there, we'll replace the grommet, but I think this will take care of it. Now you don't have to push that much line into the tank, an inch or so will do, but it's up to you. These grommets are not that expensive, but I would recommend that you buy more than one at a time to make each one cheap. I would buy 5 or 10 of them at a time, and when you see the price for them, you'll understand why. So when connecting the fuel lines to the carb, the return line will connect to the smaller one of the two ports, while the fuel filter line will connect to the one that has the barbs on it. Now this was the way the fuel lines were connected when we first got it, so hopefully this is right. However, I'm connecting the fuel lines right now because I'm going to do a flow test with the system after adding some fuel to the tank. And with several ounces of fuel added to the tank, we'll then press on the bulb and see if any fuel will fill the bulb and then go through the return line back to the tank, which it does. But if no fuel is filling the bulb, then double check your fuel lines haven't been swapped, and if not, you might have to go through the carb again. But if you find that there's nothing wrong with the carb, then you might have a clogged fuel filter. And if all else fails, then you might have a bad carb and you'll have to decide what to do after that. Just as a reminder, this carb is the one that I tried to fix and it didn't work out well enough, and I ended up replacing it, so I don't expect much from this one. The reason I'm using it now is to use it as a test to make sure the rest of the machine is working like it should. So here's the air box from the parts machine, and as you can see, the mounting holes are at an angle, so this will be interesting. There's nothing wrong with the air box sitting at an angle, but it's just odd to see, so if you have extreme OCD, I'm really sorry. As you can see, it still works well, but the choke lever is now located at the front of the air box instead of the rear of it. But the engine's not going to care how it looks, so we're going to purge the system, choke the carb, and see how it runs. And as you can tell, it works great. I just wish we were able to use the original carb instead of this other one. But oddly enough, the carb that didn't work on the other engine seems to be working on this one really well. I can't explain it, but I'll take every win I can get. But before we start celebrating too soon, we better install a new air filter and start it back up while the engine is hot and see what happens. That's because if it won't start back up while it's hot, we've got other problems to deal with then. Well, that was very unexpected. I wasn't sure if this carb was going to work, and I also didn't expect this machine to work as well as it does. So what led to this echo trimmer being left behind then? Well, I can only guess the engine wasn't starting for him, and that's the reason why they took the carb apart while it was still on the engine. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing it that way, just so long as you know what you're doing, but who really knows the truth? Now, as for the original carb, I'll have to find another parts carb and take the metal roller out of it, but it's not a major concern since this one already works. But as of right now, we're just going to put the carb back together and put it into a bin of used carbs waiting to be used for their parts. Now, some are going to say not to do that because this is an original carb and the aftermarket ones are so cheap, but we'll have to wait and see what happens to it. Now, as for this project, it's almost done. We just got to do more test starts with it to make sure it's reliable, and then we'll put it up for sale. Now, I do think we're going to make really good money on it, but for those that would want it, I think it'd be professionals who would understand how underrated these are. But of course, a well-informed residential user would also understand, but we'll see where it ends up. So my question is, would you buy this one or the shiny orange version of it instead? I will tell you, it'd be a very tough choice. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate your time here. Please feel free to ask me any questions about this project or about your own projects, and I hope to see you in the next video.